Just observation I had watching the show last night. I too agree with you guys that it's too fast. The only thing I can make a case for is if you rewatch it or you look at that clip, Christian comes into the ring, he swings, he misses, he swings, he misses, and the only person that hits any of the patriarchy or those guys is Cope. So if they want to say rules, it could have been a whole, you know what I mean? It's just something I've seen before with the NWO where, you know, oh, they really hit him. Oh, now you got to look back. Oh, wait, he never hit him. He never touched him. He swung at him, made it look like he wanted to hurt him, and then here comes the ruse. That's what I'm thinking. But, you know.
I like that. That makes me happy. Because I didn't pay attention to who was being swung at. You know what? He did not make any contact, but begrudgingly did the hug, gave him a look, looked over his shoulder the whole time. Maybe this is the drama, and we're talking about getting suckered in. It still went too far for us, but it could be a beautiful thing.
Listen, there could be something behind it, and you know what? If that is what happens, I can't wait to hear our conversation after Forbidden Door.
I'm going to make it count. God bless you guys for what you do. I've never called before, but if you're playing early 80s metal, I got to get in. Thanks for everything you all do. So I think, no doubt, it's all about emotion and connection, and you all having this place is just another reason I'm a pro wrestling fan. I've been married a long time. When I had early sex, I always wanted it to be the best, but now I take what I can get. The Christian and Copeland, I felt some emotion. Yes, I would have liked for it to have been more, but there's always tomorrow. So I'm grateful for what I had, but you guys having the conversation you're having makes me anticipate what could be next time. So I'm going to stay with it, man. Thanks for what you guys do. Love pro wrestling, and I love this network.
I feel like you're the most underestimated wrestler in the history of professional wrestling. Almost like the Pete Rose of wrestling. I just wondered how you felt about that, because I think you're better than more than 98% of the wrestlers that are in the Hall of Fame. Does that bother you?
Well, a couple things. One, the greatest thing in the world, my hero, is friggin' Pete Rose. Kurt Angle and Pete Rose are my heroes. So, yeah, Charlie Hustle. I used to dive headfirst into second base in, like, 5th grade just to be like Pete Rose. But also, I am a little bit of a player coach, so I appreciate it. And I do gamble on wrestling a lot, so don't say anything. But, no, I think it's too soon. Like, I left the company a year and a half ago. I think it's too early to be in the Hall of Fame. But also, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people, I think eventually they get around to putting everybody in there. So I don't know what the situation is. And I'm not too worried about it. Like, dead serious, the important part to me is coming to the back and having a roster either go hell yeah and high five you, or say like, hey, thanks for that, or letting somebody get back there and go, hey, Lance Storm, what did I do wrong? He goes, well, actually, and you're like, okay, great. I'm going to get back at it tomorrow. Make it work.
Are you still doing stand-up?
Yeah, we did a big show, the last couple big TNA pay-per-views the night before. Yep.
Oh, nice.
Anytime, we'll announce
one last question, I'll let you guys go. What do you think about Amy Schumer talking about your sex life? Does that bother you?
It doesn't bother me at all. No. By the way, nothing bothers me. Compliments sure as hell don't bother me. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I read some of those comments. For if that was me, I would put it on my car hood and I would drive around so everybody would know. But that's just me.
Everybody's different. I like the party.
Everybody's different. Everybody's different. I love how I thought JJ was going to say you're better than 98% of the people wrestling right now, but he went 98% of the people in the Hall of Fame. In the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and I would say it's more like 97.3. But, like not 98% of everyone in the Hall of Fame. But, no, 99% of the people currently and 98% of the Hall of Fame. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe not.
What's going on, buddy? How are you?
That's exactly where I just left, was Meineke. That's a fact. It's crazy that you just said that.
Dude, you got to trust your key with Meineke.
I respect it, you know. I can appreciate that. I'm doing great, having just left the Meineke, right by my dad's house here in Baltimore, Maryland. Nick, I don't think Nick is good and like he doesn't think that Baltimore's good enough for his presence, so he's not coming out.
I got suspended, bro. I love. Well, actually, I hate Baltimore's football team because it's actually the Cleveland football team from when they left. But I love Baltimore. Jimmy's Seafood. I'm missing out on Jimmy's. It breaks my heart.
Respect.
It breaks the greatest crab cake that ever existed, and it breaks my heart. But at least that we're doing carpool karaoke here or whatever we are with you. It'd be great.
Can I ask you guys a question?
No. Oh wait, I guess we have 20 minutes here.
Is Jimmy Seafood's like the United States version now of the Ribera Steakhouse? Like, do you go to Jimmy Seafood's?
Yeah,
except they don't have jackets. That's the only difference.
You know what? And I bet bringing it up, they might start making some satin jackets if we do. But they are there's so many things that when I started, Chavo Guerrero was bringing me around my first couple weeks, and he's like, there is a few things that wrestlers have not ruined when we've gotten these cool. And Rivera, like, go to Rivera making jacket. That's great. Jimmy's was like so great and kind to us, and somehow we didn't blow it. Kowloon in Saugus, near Boston, was becoming the Rivera jacket, and then now Jimmy's 99% no filler crab cake. It's so beautiful. It melts in your mouth. I've never had
so good
in my life.
So good, and you know. The version of the Ribera, satin jacket, Jimmy's is just having your picture on the wall. And last week I went during the Baltimore media tour. I took Moose and Ross Foreman there, and they were trying to hate on me. They were like, "Can't find your picture. Can't find your picture." Only to find my picture on the same wall as Lamar Jackson. So I'm kind of like Baltimore royalty.
Tonight on Impact, like you said, big show tonight. You're teaming with Trick and Swan to go up against the System. Big match tonight on Impact, AJ.
Yeah, it's always good anytime I get to slap around those System guys. They're the most unbelievably not good guys that are good guys I've ever seen in my life. They've done some of the most heinous, horrendous things, and yet the people want to cheer for them. It's maddening to me. It's maddening to me. So what? I kicked Casey out of the crew just because he tore his ACL. And I told him that I was happy he tore his ACL. And I was told him that he never belonged. That's not as bad as some of the stuff Moose has done, you know?
You make a great point. First of all, kicking KC when he's down is pretty messed up. But as a fellow bad guy, I kind of appreciate it. Also, yeah, the System did so much messed up stuff for years at this point. We're going on a decade with Moose, winning championships and being, being the flag bearer, but also the most horrific things possible to everybody. And now it's just, if you're around long enough, people just start cheering you because they know you. You're the devil that we know instead of the devil that we don't. And now they're getting cheered. You know what? I kind of want you to slap them around. It's been like those guys tried to end my career. Beat the hell out of them. But KC, he's a good kid. He means well. Cut him some slack.
No, man. Next man up. The brother, he let us down, man. He let us down.
You've never been injured before? You never got injured? I mean, I never did, but everyone else has.
But I pushed through. I tore my meniscus in a game versus the Atlanta Falcons on the first play of the game and played the entire game with a torn meniscus. So I'm not trying to hear none of these injury stories.
That's a fair point. I mean, I get it. If you're fighting through it, then you're all a team and you're fighting through it, or you're not. You know what? Tough love. I don't like to use the L word, but tough love.
I got to tell you, talking to AJ right now, it's kind of like we're watching like a TV show, and here's why. Hey, remember like those like old episodes of like NYPD Blue, or maybe even Moonlighting, where they're driving and like they're talking to like whoever they're doing the scene with, and like every once in a while they glance, and I'm like, they're not driving. Because because they're like, and like, because they're barely looking at the AJ, like you're looking into the camera the entire time. I thought you were a pass. You're fucking driving. Like, it's unbelievable.
I mean, yes, this is one of the more illegal things I've done on the record. So, but hey, listen, You called me. I'm on my way to Nana's house right now. On my way to the old hood, Pioneer City. You know, I'm actually pulling up that song. Nick, have you seen the new Naked Gun?
I went 2 days ago with my family. We loved it.
It's fantastic.
85 minutes of jokes the entire time, and I think I missed a few. I got to watch it again.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But that's all I thought of when you started talking about me running over a biker and continuing to drive.
He hits so many bikers in that movie that like they don't even address like the third time when it happens. And he's getting handed a coffee on the highway from nobody, and the bike just flips over his guy.
What a movie!
Like I could have sworn I saw
Don't
like.
worry, Dave. I parked now.
All right, good. I just wanted to be safe because I did think I didn't see the actual person, but I did see envelopes flying in the air. Like, you know, I think you definitely hit a mailman, or that was just airmail. But AJ, like, here's the thing, AJ, and I've been saying this. Listen, I make no bones about it. I've been talking to big boss man Eddie Brasili. We got to get AJ in on this on Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7. The guy's opinionated. The guy's uber talented. He does not bite his tongue, Nick. And, you know, some people look at that as like a negative thing. I look at it as a positive thing. Because if you want the honest truth, AJ's going to give it to you. He's going to give it to you.
If I was 5'8" and British, people would love that I was opinionated. But unfortunately, I'm 6'5" and American and an actual athlete from a professional field. So people think that I shouldn't have an opinion about anything. People often tell me I shouldn't even have an opinion about football. And it's fascinating to me.
Well, to be fair, wrestling fans used to tell me that I don't know anything about wrestling, and then wrestling fans used to tell me that I don't know anything about comedy. And it's like, and I at least be a comedy fan that's telling me that I don't know anything about comedy. But what really matters is, even though I'm suspended, even though we're having a good time here, TNA Impact has been absolutely crushing it. And my brother's going to hold down the fort at Emergence. I hate that I'm missing it, but let's take a second here. We've been glossing over it for a few weeks. Like, oh, unreal ticket sales. People excited now for the night. And I want to see you guys beat the hell out of the system. I don't like you just get to be a good guy because you've been there long enough. Talk up some trash and kick their ass.
Appreciate that, Nick. And also, I think that everyone in TNA owes me and you at least some cigars, some steaks, because look at where TNA was before. Me and you showed up on the same day. A lot of people don't remember that. You know, we both showed up on the same exact show. That was our first show ever. And, it was in Las Vegas. It was a great show. And we are the two people that showed up that day. And ever since that day, TNA's been on a rocket, brother. Genuinely think people need to get us some cigars, some steaks. They need to shake our hand, look us in the eye and shake our hands and thank us for everything we've done for TNA. I mean, the best TNA world title match of last year, AJ Francis versus Nick Nemeth. I mean, let's talk about it. You know, let's talk about it. You know, let's really talk about it. You know, and that's funny. We went from day one in January, showing up same day, to the end of that year in December, main event for the world title, brother. I mean, we put TNA on our back, and I'm grateful that I've been able to do it with you. A lot of people don't know this. I've told Nick this story. This is a true story. And when I first became an adult and got into professional wrestling, I was in college. And I didn't have to say I had my own money, but it was Pell Grant because I was a poor college student.
Hell yeah, I had a Pell Grant. Yeah, hell yeah.
So the first piece of wrestling merch I ever purchased with my, even though it was the government's money, my own money, was the pink, it's not showing off, Dolph Ziggler shirt. I'm telling you, it was the first piece of merch I ever purchased as an adult. That's a fact. So to be the reason, to fast forward and it'd be me and Nick being the reason for TNA's new rise. It's just amazing. It's amazing.
It's true.
It's fun to say this, that's great, but a lot of people in the entire damn roster making everything happen. The roster moves happening, the behind the scenes stuff's happening. But hang on. I say all these people. Watch. I'm a good politician. Well, all the people, everybody's great. We all got the participation medal, but AJ Francis makes an absolutely airtight case for who really started this off. But, right.
Timing is everything, as you said before, Nick, right? Timing is everything.
Yes, absolutely.
Even though I will say this, I was kind of pissed because they must have had Nick upstairs in the cellar hiding away from everybody. I didn't see him, so I had my debut, and I'm all excited. I'm like, yeah, I debuted on TNA. Me and Joe Hendry stole the show. Hell yeah! Everybody's talking about us, and then Nick shows up right in the main event. I'm like, geez, if I have any.
If it makes you feel better, the Motley Crue shirt that I ripped off to reveal the TNA one in a very iconic moment that became a meme, no big deal, was a real concert tee that I wish I had not ripped in half, and that I have yet to replace, because I don't want to get it. I don't want to buy like a reprint one. I want to get an old school real one back. But I said, you know what? How does this let everybody know I'm here to stay? Rip that damn thing in half. Let everybody know TNA is the place to go. And here's what you can't deny. No matter who did it and how it's going, we are on a rocket ship ride with TNA. It's the place to be. The second we get a new streaming rights deal, we go to the moon with it. And for now, you got to check it out on YouTube, the app,
TNA Plus,
Access TV, TNA Plus.
Okay, I will play the good guy here for a second.
There we go. Every once in a while, you're allowed to be a good guy.
One time, I will admit, okay, the Hardys had a lot to do with it too, but other than the Hardys, it's only me and McNemeth, okay? That's it.
All right.
You got it. As much as I don't want to give Joel Henry any credit, he's a big part of some big numbers to help everybody out. He's selling some merchandise, getting people there for the meet and greets, getting people in the doors, making things happen. And you know what? It's a team effort. And no joke, behind the scenes, that's a huge part of it, man. You can assemble the greatest team in the entire world. If you don't have the coaches to run those plays that they're running in, I'm going off a QB sleeve here. It's not the same. Everybody's doing their damn part, and that's why it's so exciting to be with TNA, and that's why I'm so pissed off that I'm suspended, not just because of the crab cakes.
But also, Joe Hendry has to make sure that he's not the Dixie Midnight Runners. He's got to come up with another hit song. By the way, you're listening to Busted Open on Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7, brought to you by Chumpa Casino. When life slows down, the fun kicks in. No purchase necessary. Must be 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply. AJ.
I don't know who the Dixie Midnight Runners are. So when
Dexy's Midnight Runners. That's Come On, okay. Eileen. Oh, okay. I know what I mean.
I do know that song. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a very obscure Dixie Carter reference.
You're probably thinking of Save Ferris doing the punk ska version, but yes, it's actually not a Dixie Carter reference. But it was, you were talking TNA, and it's easy to make.
I get it, and by the way, I love it. I actually love it. Maybe we should make that into a Dixie Carter reference.
That's going to be your new line. Like, that's no Dixie's Midnight Runners. And you're like, oh, brother.
Really quick before we let you go, and I know we ask you this question all the time, but every time that there is a release, Karrion Kross being very vocal about what he's been going through. He talked about they gave him one more contract. They gave him 24 hours and said, hey, you got 24 hours to sign this or we're rescinding the offer. Your thoughts on what Karrion Kross just went through and his future?
There's a million people that are talking about Karrion Kross. I'd rather talk about Ashante. They didn't really offer him, bro. They didn't really say, you got 24 hours. That is a crazy business tactic. You can't even negotiate or do anything about that because it's like, okay, all right, you take this or you can leave. But I feel like we're just at a point where, in this business, for some reason, and I don't know why, but for some reason, you have to have, you can't have the people support you when it's not your time. And I felt like the same thing happened when I was in Hit Row, where when we were in Hit Row, especially on NXT, we were the hottest thing on the show. And I think for some reason, getting over when it's not your time rubs people the wrong way, which to me doesn't make any damn sense. It's the dumbest thing ever because the whole point of this is to make people care. And for years, Cross was one of those guys that was underutilized, and they didn't really have much for him. And then when they finally gave him some stuff, the people got behind him. So I never really understood why there wasn't more. But I can say the same thing about myself. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, people love to pretend that I am so much better than I was a year and a half ago. Yeah, I'm a little bit better, but not as much better as the difference you see in TNA. You're just given an opportunity. Like, really think about what I'm about to say. My first night, the night we were talking about with Nick, my first night in TNA, we cut a promo that was longer than every promo I ever cut on television in WWE.
Wow.
So it's not like I just learned how to talk. I've just been given a microphone, and there's a difference. Right?
Wow. AJ, I mean, I thank you for the honesty, as always. That's what you do. You bring the honesty. Can't wait to see Impact tonight. Again, you're tagging with Trick and Swan to go up against the system. Good luck tonight, man, and thanks for taking the time. Appreciate it, buddy.
Without professional wrestling. And my husband, TJ, says that too. He's like, wrestling gave me everything. It gave me my relationship. It gave me my friends. It's given me so many friendships. It's allowed me to travel the world. It's allowed me to take care of my family and to take care of my, like, you know, if my cat has an emergency situation, like, I can take care of it. You know, I can handle anything because of pro wrestling. Like, I have the tools.
For 2 weeks. And I never go away for 2 weeks. Since we started Busted Open 16 years ago, I've never taken a vacation longer than just a week because I never want to be away from the show. But I owe my wife, she hasn't gone.
You do.
Yeah, I got, and she is like, no wrestling shirts. She's like, for 2 weeks, I don't know if I could do it. I'm actually going to throw in some wrestling shirts because I can't go for 2 weeks without doing Busted Open or wearing wrestling shirts. I'm going to have to do that. So gonna have to see some wrestling shirts in there.
It's because it's your love. Actually, this wrestling shirt is from Fanatics. So when we were in Jersey doing SummerSlam, Maxine and I were doing a signing, and somebody had told, I think Tiffany Stratton, she was like, there's a Fanatics store. They have all this cool stuff. So we went up after the signing. Maxine and I went to the Fanatics store. It was all vintage stuff. It was vintage Fanatics stuff. They had like a Batista shirt that Maxine wanted because she loves Batista. And then I was like, well, there was a Rey Mysterio shirt that I got, and then the Steve Austin shirt, and then I got like there was a Lakers shirt. TJ loves Michael Jordan, so I got. They had Fanatics has the coolest vintage stuff. So this shirt is from when they first dropped this shirt. This is the shirt. This is from this is from when this shirt first came out. So it's probably over 20 years old. So anyway, it's vintage and it's Fanatics, and I love it. It's my little shameless plug for Fanatics, but they were so generous with us. They let us have all this stuff, and I was like, who do I need to body slam?
I love it. Well, you mentioned New Jersey. Obviously, we just saw SummerSlam a couple weeks right here in New Jersey, where I'm doing the show from. And Naomi had one of her best matches, and Naomi has had an MVP year for herself, the best year of her career, without a doubt. I love that she's had this opportunity to shine. And she was supposed to have a big match with Io Sky this past Monday on Raw. That did not happen. And I think we're all kind of just waiting to hear what's up with Naomi.
And it's funny because, like, usually we will have, like, somebody will have, you know, especially for the locker room, it's one of those things that, like, somebody will know what's going on. But in this situation, like, Naomi's a really close friend of mine, but I just feel like it's a time right now where she needs space. And so usually when something crazy is going on, or, you know, I don't think it's crazy in a bad way, but I think that, like, obviously it's private. It's personal. It's something like nobody ever wants to go down with an injury, or nobody ever wants to be, knowing how hard Naomi has fought to get this spot that she's in. She's at the top of the division. And Naomi and I were actually having this conversation a couple of weeks ago. I was saying to her, I'm like, everything just aligned for you. But I always knew, and I've said this to you before, I always knew that Naomi had it in her to be this great. But it's like all the stars and everything aligned for her to have all this right now. So it was like this storyline with Jade and Bianca. then Naomi gave this incredible performance, this promo with Bianca, and then Jade came out. You remember the promo?
Yep.
It was amazing. It was just like a game-changing performance where I was like, damn, give this girl an Oscar. And then of course she, has this groundbreaking moment at Money in the Bank. She wins it. And then she cashes in at the second ever all women's pay-per-view. She cashes in at Evolution, which, what a great way to cash in. I mean, every girl was at Gorilla, like hugging her and crying. And like, every guy was too. Everybody was just so happy for her, so excited for her. And so it is crazy because she is so excited. As far as I know, the last we talked, she's like, I know what I have and I'm so grateful for it. I can't believe, she can't believe all of this is happening, but I feel like she's so beyond grateful for it. So whatever is going on right now, it's definitely there's a part of me that wants to be like, hey, Trin, what's going on? Tell me, give me the scoop. But the other part of me is sometimes when people are going through something or they're dealing with, like I said, an injury or some sort of extenuating situation, I feel like she will talk about it when she's ready to talk about it. But it definitely isn't. I know she would have loved to have wrestled Io on Monday. I mean, Io is, to me, I think Io is one of the greatest female superstars that's ever wrestled in WWE, and I think she's one of the greatest female wrestlers in the world, if not the best. So anybody that gets a chance to wrestle Io, we jump at that opportunity. Whether you're tired, whether you're, so there has to be something really going on with Trin, but I don't know what it is, and I don't want to be nosy or snoopy.
And I get it, and I think a lot of fans forget that you guys are human and you have a life, and everybody knows life can throw you a curveball. At the drop of a dime, your direction of where you're going could change in an instant. The moment of her career, this period, this moment right now is the best. This is what she's worked so hard for.
I know.
I know.
It sucks. And here's the thing, is that as far as injuries go, there's never a good time to get injured. Look at Liv Morgan. Liv was on the run of her life too. And Liv was, shit happens. And sometimes that's the great thing about WWE. And I will say that because I've worked in January. Things happen, whether it's a global pandemic, whether it's an injury, whether it's, I've seen so many extenuating things happen. Somebody couldn't make a flight, or there was a travel situation, or somebody gets, people get freak injuries all the time, but we pivot. And I remember there was a time we were all stuck over in Europe. There was a volcano that ash was going off, and they wouldn't let any flights leave Europe. The company pivoted, and we don't miss a beat. We never missed a single show during COVID. Not one single show during COVID. And that's the thing about WWE, is that sometimes amongst the chaos comes opportunity. So while Naomi is having a game-changing year, life happens. Life happens, and the company, I feel like WWE, we just roll with the punches. And so, what I saw on Monday was an incredible match between Io and Roxanne.
Yeah.
Where I was like, damn, this was badass. It actually, I think, really opened people's eyes to Roxy really being a player. Where I was like, she's really good. She's really, really good. And so I think like I said, in chaos comes opportunity. And so I hope Naomi is okay. And I feel like, we'll all find out sooner than later when she's ready to talk about it. But at the end of the day, somebody else is going to get an opportunity, and that's how the company works. It's we're a wheel that just keeps turning, and it is what it is.
And the WWE does a phenomenal job with that. I was on the air with Tommy Dreamer on Wednesday, and I was binge watching Mid-Atlantic Wrestling from 1984, right? And leading up to Starrcade 84. Wyndham and Rotundo were the tag team on there, and they had a major storyline. And a little over a month before Starrcade, the biggest show of the year, they left to go to the WWF. And I don't think Mid-Atlantic was prepared for it, and it completely changed the whole top of the card and the show that was being prepared for Starrcade. They had to change everything for their biggest show of the year.
It can totally change the trajectory of someone else's career, so it's if somebody gets hurt or somebody's out or somebody's, even when when we look at Naomi's career, it's like, okay, so Jade Cargill had a situation, an injury that she left for, and again, I don't even know the particulars of that. I know she's spoken about it a little bit, but Jade she took a little break from December to like, I don't know when it was, January, like she took some time off to handle something. And so then we really dug into Naomi and Bianca being a tag team. And we saw this close bond and this close friendship. So it put more of a spotlight on Naomi and Bianca's relationship that kind of fueled the story going into Naomi being the one that attacked Jade and turning on Bianca. And so like when something happens, it just always, it can change people's, like it can change the trajectory of someone's career and usually in a really great way. So of course, I think whatever it is Naomi's going through, she'll bounce back and she'll come back stronger than ever, and people will be excited to see her come back. But at the same time, we've got so many great women in the division. Like, you know, I would absolutely love to compete with Stephanie. I would love to work with Roxanne. I did one singles match with Io and it was magic. And I'm like, fuck, Io and Natty could have a really, really incredible feud. There's so many things. Damn, I mean, listen, Natalya is an 18 and a half year vet in WWE, but Natty, this is Natty's first year. So I would love to see Natty and Io.
It's giving you
Natty and
blood.
Stephanie.
Yeah,
yes,
it's giving you a new outlook. And it's funny, like, you know, and I love the perspective that you're giving and how, hey, this is another opportunity for another story or another superstar to step up. When I was talking about Mid-Atlantic Wrestling, what they did, like, last minute, they really threw together of all matches to be in the main event that year, Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes. So I don't think Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes was the plan for Starrcade 84, but that's what we got. And that turned into one of the greatest feuds in pro wrestling history. And a main event at Starrcade, you know, that year and the year after. Like, you never know what that brings. Like, Naomi cashing in when she did at Evolution, nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw that coming. Because that wasn't the story.
And it was such a cool moment, and that's what keeps our fans, like, you know, I was at SummerSlam both days. I did Bloodsport on the Saturday, but I really wanted to be at the show on Saturday and Sunday because I'm a talent. I'm a wrestler. I get that, but I'm also a fan. Like I got excited about what was going to happen, like who was going to show up. You know, something big is going to happen. You know, like, and even though I work in the company, a lot of these things are kept very, very secretive. So I was like watching, going like, I wonder who's going to, like, I wonder if we're going to see, you know, is so-and-so going to come back, or is this going to be a return for her? Or is it like, I just want to watch it as a fan because I just enjoy the spontaneity. You know what I mean? And so I think with everything that Naomi had been doing this year, a lot of it felt very fresh and very spontaneous. And besides myself, Naomi is the most tenured woman in WWE. And like what she's been doing has just been so fun, so fresh, and she's been killing it. You know, she's been absolutely killing it. So I miss her. Of course, she's only been gone for a week, but like, I love her and I just hope that everything is okay. But I was also going to say, jumping to another topic, I am so proud of Maxine. Did you watch Monday with her match?
Of course.
So like, it's funny because she was really down on herself afterwards. And she felt like she failed, and she kind of felt like she, you know, I think we all want to be perfectionists. But I was like, Maxine, like, you need to realize that, like, Rome wasn't built in a day. You know what I mean? Like, she, in the big scheme of things, she is just still so new. And she was in there with a woman that main evented WrestleMania and won in the very first ever women's match that main evented WrestleMania. Like, people can say what they want about Becky, but Becky is a serious player. She's a New York Times bestseller. She's what is it? She's a Grand Slam champion. She's done a ton of stuff, and she's really competed for women in professional wrestling. Nobody has done what Becky has done as far as, like, again, being the first woman to win and main event WrestleMania. And I said to Maxine, I'm like, you not only showed the world what you can do, and that you're somebody that really, like, people can see that Maxine has been putting in the work, but also Becky totally underestimated Maxine, and I think Maxine in a lot of ways shoved it up Becky's ass.
Well, I think, Natty, when you look at that match, I think part of the story is the fact that she did feel like, hey, I'm diving into the deep end here.
Yeah.
So I think it showed in the match. There were times where she wasn't sure of herself, and then there were times that she let, I got an advantage, and her ego got in the way, where she got an advantage. She's doing cartwheels. It's like, what are you doing? You got Becky. Take advantage of that situation. I think the story that was told was that, hey, she's never been in this situation before. She didn't know how to react in some ways because, like you said, she's in there with Becky Lynch.
And it's intimidating.
Yes.
I mean, Becky is not, it's funny because, like, Maxine's actually not a small girl, but Becky can be really intimidating as far as, like, what she's done in the industry. And I was like, I think also Maxine's very athletic. So when you see, like, I saw, Maxine doing, like, she did a back handspring in the match. Like, I think there was a moment there, she's like, I don't know when I'm going to get this opportunity again. I want to show people that I'm, like, athletic and that I'm, like, she's got so much raw, natural energy. But when Becky said, and I will never forget this moment, Becky said to Maxine, she's like, get out of my ring. Like, Becky's basically saying that's her ring.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very arrogant thing to do. She's like, get out of my ring. So Maxine goes to take a walk and then basically arm drags Becky back into the ring. Like, it was that moment where I was like, I loved seeing Becky kind of like go, oh shit, like I gotta wake up. I gotta pay attention a little bit. But here's my thing is like, Monday was Maxine's first championship match. And she's going, I don't think Maxine has had 50 matches. You know what I mean? Like, when we think about that, I've had 2,000 matches. I don't think she's had 50 matches. So I think it's like, and you're not just on TV, you're on Netflix with 80% of the world that can watch you. So there's nerves, there's emotion, I know that Maxine was very intimidated, but also like, when you're in there with Becky, like there was moments I was really proud of Maxine. And I think that afterwards she just kind of beat herself up because she was like, I failed, and that's the thing is that like, I've never left a match where I felt like I did perfect. I never have had that moment where I was like, that was perfect. I wouldn't change a thing. Usually after every match, even the match I had with Charlotte at TakeOver in 2014, it's like my favorite match in my career. I still felt like I could have done better. I still felt like I should have done this differently. I still felt like I should have sold my knee better. Or I should have, shown my face more. I should have done this faster. Like, I remember beating myself up over that. And I was like, people love that match. But again, we're sometimes our own harshest critics. This shit is hard.
No, and Natty also, like, sometimes that what you're talking about, the non-perfection of a match brings credibility to the match. Because if you're in an actual fight, it's not going to look perfect. There's times it's going to be a little sloppy because I think that shows the realism and the credibility of it. And it's funny that you talk about Maxine in that way because there's Maxine with Becky Lynch. We start the show talking about Naomi. Look how long it took Naomi to get to where she is right now. It took a long time.
Oh my gosh.
It took
15
Naomi
years.
Yeah, but it also took Naomi to walk away. Right? To walk away for a while to really show it. Like, you're showing this different side of you outside of the WWE. I think Naomi...
Well, and that's what has excited me and ignited this fire inside of me. Like, sometimes, Dave, I sometimes get so excited thinking about building outside the bubble, as we say, that I have a hard time even sleeping because I'm so excited about what I can do and what I can be and what I can build and what I can create. I love the creation and the process that goes into putting these matches together and building stories from, the story I built with Miyu at Bloodsport. I was working on promos and I was working on what's the story? And then going into NWA with Kenzie and then building with Promise. And then of course, even this weekend I'm doing Triple Mania. I'm working with, their women's champion wrestling against Flammer and Fabi Apache. Fabi she is one of the most legendary female wrestlers of all time in Mexico. And when I was told about going to Mexico, there was a little conversation about like, hey, who do you think, who are you interested in working? Who do you think is good? Who do you want to wrestle? And the first person I said was like, if we could get Fabi, if we could get her, that would be a dream come true because I feel like there's so many similarities because Fabi's father was a wrestler. Bobby comes from this. She's also she's a third generation wrestler. Her grandmother, I can't remember if it's grandmother or grandfather, but her family, it's in their, like, it's in her blood. And then she's been wrestling for 28 years. And then she also trains people. So I was like, shit, we have a lot in common. Like, we both come from these legendary families. We're both very close to our dads. Our dads both wrestled. So yes, the creating outside of WWE, it's so easy for me. It would be so easy for me this deep in and this established for me to go, whatever the writers have for me, I'll just take it. And I'm happy just getting a paycheck. That would be easy. That would be the easy thing to do. That's the last thing in the world that I want to do. That is the last thing in the world that I want to do. I 20 people at Evolve, whether it's, I mean, this weekend will be, 40,000 people with Triple Mania. It's going to be huge. Working for NWA, one of the shows we did at the ECW Arena was totally sold out. Wherever it is that I go, no matter what it is that I do, especially outside WWE, I have to and will hit home runs. And not just in the ring, but I want to, it's building the story, building all of it, because I love it and I want to keep building and showing people, like, listen, this is not a fluke. This character that I'm building outside of WWE. This is not a fluke. This one match was not just good. Keep watching, keep watching, keep watching. And then, of course, we hopefully will continue it elsewhere. But yes, I'm excited for Triple Mania. I'm excited. It's a huge match. It's actually going to be, if I win this title, Dave, on Saturday at Triple Mania, it'll be my first championship in 8 years.
Wow, that long?
8 years. My first my first singles championship in 8 years.
Wow.
It's been 8 years since I've won a championship, like a women's title. I won the tag championships with Tamina. God, what year was that? Like, don't ask. I can't remember what day yesterday was. But it was, during the pandemic, we won those. 2020 or 2021, we won those.
Yeah, and then you were able to have that moment at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it was 2020. I won.
Yeah.
We had that. Yeah, so we had 2 matches at WrestleMania. That was like a magical year. But so I'm excited. I feel excited. I feel invigorated. This is an exciting time, and I just am so grateful that I'm able to keep building. Like, I love it. I love this, like, and I think that there's a trust there too. There's even a trust with, the company letting me do this show, the company letting me work outside of WWE, because to me, it's all about bringing it back. Like, I want to bring it back to keep building the division, but Taker said it best. Taker, at the last AAA show I was at, Taker was there. And he said, listen, I know how long, because he's been, remember how long Taker had been in WWE, and you saw these different evolutions of, you saw him evolve into these different characters. You have to evolve. And that's the thing, is that with Natalya, we've seen Natalya. TJ and I talk about this all the time. I think she brought a lot to the table. We've seen her. We've seen what she can do. She's there to elevate. She's there to help everyone else out. She really is a great team player. But Natty is just so different. And that's what I love about Natty, is that she's so different, and she feels so different, and she feels so fresh, and it's just a whole different energy. But I respect the shit out of Natalya. I think, again, she's done a lot of great things. Dave, as you said earlier, she's got 6 Guinness World Records.
Yeah, no.
But we've seen it, and that's the thing, is that, it's time for her to evolve, and there's no better place for me to do that than outside of WWE, but with their blessing. That's the coolest thing about working for Hunter, is that he's so open-minded. He's very forward-thinking as far as, yeah, show me. Yeah, that sounds really cool. I like that. He's really open-minded to it. When I had my nose broken a few years back, I said to Hunter, I had an idea, and I wanted to do it with this person, and I wanted Shayna to be the one that broke my nose and all this stuff. And he was like, I love it. It's great. He's like, I think it's great. We continue to push, he's very receptive to ideas, which is fantastic. But I really had to go out on a limb to basically say, hey, I want to work with these smaller promotions. Because here's the thing. If I go off and do Bloodsport, and for whatever reason, something happens, I get hurt, that affects my equity. So I know how important it is for me to nail these outside shows and hit home runs. But he has been super supportive of it, and I'm so grateful that he's allowing me to show him what I want to build, and then hopefully bring that to WWE.
Well, I think it all goes back to betting on yourself. You are betting on yourself, and it's working. Naomi bet on herself, and it definitely worked. And the reason why I wanted to play this was because of a conversation we had a few years ago about Ronda Rousey. But Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks in the WWE, was a guest on the Marking Out podcast hosted by MVP. And MVP asked about the environment of the woman's locker room. And this is what Mercedes had said.
For me, it's night and day. Well, first of all, I have my own locker room.
I was going to say, she has her own dressing room.
So that helps me a lot. I'm not in it, but I like being away from it. I don't want to be part of drama or anything, but when I am around the girls, it just feels like such a community of wanting to make this place grow. There's a hunger because I feel like we still feel so underground, and we want to make it like up here. Like, so all these women have so much drive and passion, and I can feel it. Like, they fire me up. I want to be the best because they want to be the best. And same with the guys too, just the energy with the guys. It feels so different. And I don't want to say like, oh, WWE is bad or people are like egos, but it just feels like we're all trying to fight for something. We're trying to fight to make this the best. And I love people who have passion and hunger. So that's how I feel.
All right, so the biggest difference between the WWE locker room and the AEW locker room is I'm not in the AEW locker room. I mean, and I remember having a conversation with you about Ronda Rousey, where Ronda Rousey, I guess, had the opportunity to have her own dressing area, but she wanted to be around the women. She wanted to be around the locker room. She liked that type of atmosphere. Like, what are your thoughts? And listen, I know there's two sides to it. There's the one side where, hey, you've earned that opportunity to have your own area, but also you're isolating yourself from everybody else. It's interesting to me.
It's I mean, there's lots of different perspectives. There's lots of different ways that you could look at it. Like, I mean, like, so Sasha is saying, I always call her Sasha. That's how I first met her, and that's how her name reads in my phone. But Sasha's saying that she loves the girls and she loves the unity, and she like loves that everybody's building and building and building and doing all this together, but she has her own space. She has her own locker room. I think it just goes, not everybody, like, here's the thing. I'm a people person. I love people. I just love the camaraderie. I love that. I feel weird if no one's in the locker room. Like when it's quiet or there's not that many girls, or like, I love chit-chatting over a match or talking about something or whining about something or laughing about something. I just love, I love the camaraderie of the girls. And I think it's why Nikki Bella, like, again, we talked about this, a while ago, but when Nikki came back, they told her, she had her own room, and she's like, no, I don't want that. Like, I just want to change with the girls. I want to be with the girls. So it depends on what kind of person you are. Some people are private. Some people are introverted. Some people, like, for example, Alexa Bliss, she just had a baby, so her situation is different because she is, coming back to the locker room, and she's got a small toddler with her. So she's like, I don't want, babies are work. So, she has, I know she has like a little area that her baby is looked after. And so it's situational for every girl. If Sasha likes her space and wants her space, that's great. But the way she treats people outside of that space, like, it seems like she is really enjoying taking on that leadership role in work, where she's able to like pass on her knowledge. She's done a lot. I mean, she has done a lot in the industry. She's been here. She's not a newbie anymore. The four horsewomen are not newbies anymore. So it's cool if she likes her space. My take on the locker room is that it's very, very, very sacred, and that the only people that are in the locker room are the wrestlers, and to be a wrestler at the highest level, or even, whether it's a smaller indie promotion or wherever it is that your locker room is, that's the most sacred place around. And TJ, it's funny, I won't ramble on about this too much, but when TJ broke his neck, after he broke his neck, I wrote about this in my book. When he broke his neck, like immediately after, he went into the locker room, and he said he had to sit back in there one last time. He said he knew that it was going to be his last time ever, like, as a wrestler in the locker room. This is a very powerful chapter in my book, and it's one that, like, writing it really, like, rocked my world. And I just was like, I had to like really think about what I was saying because it was such powerful stuff I was sharing that I'd never shared with anyone before. But there's a little part in the book where after TJ broke his neck, he knew he broke his neck and he knew he would never wrestle again. He said he knew immediately. He knew he would never ever do this again. He said that the first thing he wanted to do was go back and sit in the locker room with the boys one last time. And he just sat there in the locker room just for a few moments and just like took everything in because he said that's the most special place. It's with the boys, you know, with the girls in the locker room. It's like it's the most special place because it's like we're in the trenches together. It's where the magic is made. You don't just, not just anybody is allowed in the locker room and not just anybody should be in the locker room. It's the people that, you know, give their blood, sweat, and tears for this that should be there. So it's, to me, I love the locker room. Not everybody should be allowed in the locker room. As far as like, I don't let family in there. Like I don't, you know, and that's just me. Like if my mom came to a show or like, you know, it's private. The girls are getting ready. There's no, you know, it's very, very special, sacred place. So I never take it for granted. And I love the bonds that we share in there. It's like a safe zone to be whatever we need to be and be there for each other before we go out there and give each other our bodies.
And it's very powerful what you just said. And I know we're going to talk a little bit about your book before we say goodbye, because you have some news about your book that you want to break here on the Heartbeat. But I can understand that sense of community, and like it's a very, very special place. It's a sacred place, and this is not a knock on Mercedes, because I think Mercedes is doing a fantastic job in AEW. But you said she's a leader now, but don't you lead by example? Like people are going to see you, and I feel like if you're isolating yourself, it's kind of like an eliteness where they don't feel like you're your equal because you're in a completely different area. At least that's the way that I would take that.
Well, and that's the thing, is that she's a heel over there. You know, she's got 8 championships, and she's kind of a bossy little bitch. So maybe she feels that plays into her character better. I mean, here's the thing with Sasha, in my relationship with her, is that like, for whatever it is worth, she has always been so above and beyond respectful to me. And I love her. Like, I really love her. So listen, if she wants to be a diva, I bought them little makeup cases, because I travel with this little portable makeup case that has a whole lighting thing in it, and it's so cute. I'm like, I see Stephanie in the locker room and she's painting her face. And I was like, wow, that's cool. But like, I want to get her, she would love my makeup case. But then I was like, I don't want to leave Roxy out, because like Roxy's new too. So last week at the Barclays Center, I presented both of them with this special cool, like lit up makeup case that they were both, and Stephanie was like in tears. She was like, thank you so much. And I was like, it's perfect for travel. If you're getting out of the cab and you're trying to race to the arena and you got to get out of the car, you wrestle right away. Or if you're, getting ready to do press and you're running behind, you can just do your makeup in your car with this cool lighting. Like, we have these moments, these special moments that we bond in the locker room, and like a lot of that's putting our makeup on or getting ready or tanning or changing or going over matches and like, just bonding. Like, I love the bonding that we have with the girls. There's just so many great girls. Bailey is a huge proponent of bringing the girls together. Like, she really, really cares about us coming together. Liv is another one. When Liv pulled together 20 women for my birthday party, and she was like, I want to do this party in Tampa, and like everybody came together. Rhea is another one. Like, Rhea is, she's shy, but she's also got a huge heart. Like, she loves the girls. So, and Rhea's so down to earth. Like, in real life, she's just really down to earth, like a really good person.
I had so many questions from what you said, because I heard the interview that Cody Rhodes did on his podcast with Nikki Bella, talking about you and how important you are to that women's locker room. And I think that shows it. And I think that's a true mentor and a leader, showing why they have that special skill, because not everybody has that skill, and you definitely have it. But before we run out of time, because we only have a few minutes left of the Heartbeat, everybody knows your book is coming out in October. I already pre-purchased mine on Amazon.com, which everybody could do right now. That you do have 2 special people that are going to be doing the forward for the book, correct?
Yeah, so the book is coming out October 27th, and